just to go ahead and get some chat box action going as I set up our YouTube live. Let's see. All right, so we are live on our YouTube here. Now I'm going to go and present. I have to talk to myself as I do this to make sure that I follow all the steps. All right, are you all able to see my screen here? Just let me know in the chat box. I want to make sure that we're all here together. All right.
Mariella, we're starting 2 minutes after?
Yes, we're going to start in just about 2 minutes to give any latecomers a chance to join. I see that we've got some people joining us already, which is great. Yay. So we're just getting to know each other a little bit offline before we start to record. So if you want to just drop in the chat box where you're calling from. I'm in Buenos Aires. Our guest speaker is in Ontario. We've got some folks joining from the States as well. So just write in the chat box where you're calling from so I can give you a shout out when we go live. And then also if you want to write in the chat box anything particular to your situation so that our guest speaker can kind of keep that in mind as she's going over some of these awesome questions that you all have submitted offline. All right, so we got Charlotte, North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Brooklyn, Seattle. Awesome. I know someone on the line is thinking of moving to Seattle, so maybe you all can connect. All right, we got Chicago, Brooklyn. What's up? Awesome. We'll get started in just about 1 more minute. So Natalie, as soon as you're ready, you can put your camera on. And I also invite everyone to turn their cameras on. I've put everyone on mute just upon entrance to avoid any background noise, but I want everyone to know you're welcome to unmute yourselves at any time. Actually, I would encourage you, we want to really make use of this hour that we're together. And I see a lot of people joining us live. So thank you so much. If you're just joining us, go ahead and write in the chat box where you're calling from and anything else you want us to know as we dive into these questions so that our guest speaker can keep you in mind here. We'll get started in just 30 more seconds. We'll give a chance for any latecomers to join or anyone's having tech issues. I'm super excited to have you all here. Thank you all for joining. All right, Philadelphia, Edmonton, Alberta, awesome, Minneapolis, Minnesota, cool. So we are reaching across here, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and press record to the cloud. All right, so we are recording right now. Welcome everyone to another Chat and Learn here with Power to Fly. My name is Mariella and I'm super excited to dive into this next hour with you all. I had a chance to speak with our guest speaker offline a little bit and I'm super excited to pick her brain and to have her answer your questions that you all have submitted offline. But before we jump into today's topic, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping rules. If you're just joining us, welcome. Please make use of the chat box by dropping where you're calling from so I can give you all a shout out. I'm calling from Buenos Aires. Our guest speaker is in Ontario, and I'm just going to read what you all put in the chat so far. So we've got Charlotte, North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Seattle, Brooklyn, New York, Chicago, Alberta, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Tampa, Florida, Los Angeles, Ontario, Texas, Nevada, Ottawa, Boston. Awesome. So the power of digital community is happening. I know that we're going through some crazy times right now. So I really, really appreciate everyone taking the hour out of your day to join us. With that said, I've put everyone on mute upon entrance just to avoid any background noise, but we really want you to participate and share your voice as you are taking the hour out of your day to join us. So please turn your cameras on. Visibility is key. The revolution is happening. We want to see who you are so we can make sure that we look out for each other. Exactly. And then if anyone wants to keep anything sensitive or anonymous, please feel free to write me privately. So you can just find me by looking at my name on the participants in the chat box. Mariella is my name. Write me anonymously and I will flag that to our guest speaker if anything is sensitive. But other than that, I just invite everyone to be present. This is being recorded, so we will email you the link to rewatch this. You can take notes, of course, now. I invite you all to stop multitasking. I know we live in a world where, multitasking is like, a superpower right now, but I really invite you to be present so that we can hear your voice. And then you can, of course, rewatch the video later. All right, so I've said enough. I want to dive right in so that you all can meet our guest speaker. Natalie, I'm not going to read what's on the screen here, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to know about Power to Fly, and what you're excited to share with us today.
Wow. Well, I'm excited to share with you just tips that are just going to help you improve your life. I was in IT for 20 years. I've always wanted to um, help other people. I'm going to kind of answer a lot of these questions because a lot of these questions target, and I'm going to talk to you about who I am a little bit in the questions that you've asked. But Power to Fly, I learned about you guys through the diversity, the 2020 diversity summit, and where Donna Brazil was on and Senator Hildebrand. And I was Zooming with these powerhouses, learning and growing, and they're all there for replay for all of you to watch too. So you could actually go on Power to Fly and look at and listen to these empowering women that have made a difference in this world and continue to do so. And I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, wow, I loved it. What a platform. I thought, I want to be a speaker here. And so I reached out and they said, wow, we'd love to have you on. We love what you're all about. And this is what Power to Fly is all about. It's empowering women and men, whoever wants to join in, and to make a difference in this world. I mean, especially during these times. I mean, times are tough. What's going on right now, it could be tough, but it could also be a little bit easier as well. And if there's anything we can do to help any of you to make it just that much a little easier, a little bit happier, just you know, you have one life to live and you want to make it your best life. So this is what I'm here. I just want to empower you guys. I feel blessed to be here, and I'm just so grateful, and I feel touched that you guys took time out of your day to be with me and Mariella. Thank you for going through this with me too, and to facilitate this whole thing. So I really appreciate all of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I see some folks are just joining and they're dropping in the chat box. So keep that going. I'm going to sound like a broken record by the end of this chat because I really want to hear what you all have to say. And with that said, you all have submitted some great questions offline. We will be going through these questions one by one. And actually, this is the first one that we'll start with here. So I really encourage you, if you see your question appear on screen and you would like for a guest speaker to dive in deep, or if you had like a dream last night and you want to add to it, if this wasn't your question and you have, you know, a follow-up question, feel free to drop it in the chat box or take yourself off of mute. I always say, you know, a good chat is, you know, if we stay on 2 slides because you all really want to dig into those 2 slides, you know, that's a successful chat. We won't rush through for the sake of, you know, rushing through and just kind of pillowing our way through this next hour. So we will make the best out of this hour, and I will sound like a broken record by inviting you off of mute as much as I can. With that said, here, let's jump into this first question. So what was your biggest fear before diving into your goal, and how did you overcome it?
Well, first of all, thanks for all your questions. Love them all. They're all great questions. So thank you for taking the time to do that. And my biggest fear, to be honest, there were many, but the biggest one has to be failing itself, failing along with judgment, embarrassment, wasting time, losing money. These are my greatest fears. But what I learned is that you'll always have a sense of fear when you're going after what you really truly want. And to just remember that at the same time, in that same breath, that everything you want is right on the other side of fear. So that's your go-to to really keep you motivated to go after your dream. And when you're feeling that fear inside, know that you're on the edge of the life that you've known when you're feeling that type of fear. And to energize yourself with that, it's imperative to go after your dreams, even when you're feeling discouraged, even when you feel, oh, I can't go on anymore. You're scared. It's really, even when it gets tough, keep going. We've had practice. You've been failing your whole life. If you think about it, you've been failing since you're a baby, right? What I say, when you were a child and you started walking, you want to walk like everyone else, and you were crawling, and you started crawling and you got up and you fell down, you failed, and then you got back up. You never said, that's it, I give up, I guess I'll never be a walker, right? It sounds foolish, but what happens is when we become adults, we stop giving ourselves permission to fail. to fall because of the embarrassment, the judgment, and all that. So it's really, it's important to remember, imagine if you did give up when you started crawling and you said, that's it, that's too hard, I give up. I guess I'll never be a walker. You'd still be crawling. So imagine what you're fearing right now if you overcome it. Fear is just the face of, becoming where your greatest being that you really are inside. There is a purpose for you right now. And if it were easy, we'd all be successful. So just know this, and it's important to really fail often and early on when you're going after your dream. Sir Richard Branson, Virgin business billionaire, he was asked in one of these interviews he was in, and they asked him, what is the most important thing, if there's one thing you could teach us all of how you got to be so successful, what would that one lesson be? And he said, one thing he just said, you have to be willing to fall flat on your face. But the thing is, and get back up. And it's important to know that successful people, when you're going after your success, you're going to always be doing it with a certain amount of fear. So fear is just simply feedback, letting you know that you're on the edge of the life that you've known, and everything you want is right on the other side of fear.
That's such a beautiful way to put that. And I know that, I mean, if I just asked everyone right now to drop in the chat box, maybe, their first memory of failure or fear, or like, what recently happened, I'm sure that the chat box would blow up. So thank you for bringing us together on that common denominator there, and for reminding us that we are meant to get back up again. That's really inspiring. All right, let's move to this next question here. Again, if this is your question or you want to dive in deeper, feel free to take yourself off of mute. So what was the main event in your life that got you to follow your dream?
Well, there were many, because, life just is a flow of events and it never ends. But for me, it was two major events for sure. Is one of them is, when in my mid 20s, early 30s, I was generating $80,000 a year. And then I end up pregnant, single, and broke. It was devastating. I mean, this was the major event in my life that just changed everything, because I knew I couldn't stay here. I was spiraling. I was terrified. And being a woman of faith, I mean, I broke down. I got down on my knees, and, for me, it's God. For you, it might be the universe, but I got down on my knees and I prayed out to God to help me change my life. I can't go on this way. And then out of the blue, I knew it was a sign, right? It was a sign out of the blue. There's a transformational seminar, and I knew I had to attend, but I couldn't afford it. It was $500. That was 21 years ago. But it actually included a coach. That's why it was so expensive. And I didn't have the money. I was broke. After rent was paid, I had $40 to survive on for the two of us. And so it was a scary time. And so what I did is I sold the car that I had in the driveway that I never used, that my brother had given me to get from A to B. And I sold that for $500. I never used it. I couldn't fill it with gas. I didn't have the money to fill it with gas. So I know today that car was given to me for that reason. And I sold the car, took that $500 and invested that $500 in me. And it's the best investment I ever made. That was one of the major significant errors that changed my life and improved my life. Everything changed almost immediately once I started coaching with that particular coach, which ended up making me want to become a coach because it was so transformative. Within a few weeks of being with this coach, I signed up for a web design course. I landed it, and after that course ended, it was 5 days before my course had actually ended, and I landed a $10,000 a month job. And then within the same year, I had bought and built my first home. I mean, event that changed your life, that was it. And the second one was even scarier, believe it or not, than that, is several years later, here I am in IT, settled in a position with a 6-figure income, and everything inside me was resounding, telling me, this is not it. We're all put on this earth for a reason. It's not by accident that we're all so uniquely created. There's no two of you. So you're here for a specific reason. I knew it wasn't sitting behind a desk doing what I was doing. And I had to take another leap, saying, whoa, I have to leave a 6-figure income, that comfort, and take a leap. And I did. That was the other significant time in my life, is taking that risk. And I'm not telling you to go out and on a limb and leave your 6-figure incomes. And I always say, when people ask me that, should I leave my 6-figure income and go do what I love? I always say, always make sure that, first of all, you have a big safety net. And if you don't have a safety net, make sure that that new position is generating half of what you're currently making before you leave. So that I'm not telling you to do what I did. I did leave with nothing. I just left because everything in me was just impacted. I knew what I had to do. I flew off to the US and I went to get a master's certification for 6-month grueling coaching. And I was doing it for years anyway. I just wanted to do it and do it as a vocation for life. So that's me in a nutshell. That's why I didn't want to say much more in the beginning. So, because I knew I was answering this in this question. So
Wow.
that's it. Those are the 2 areas.
So inspiring. And thank you for also, reminding people to try to have that safety net. But I really also value the sense of intuition that you have, and that seems to drive you and your success. I mean, I often question, what did I actually have on my right in front of my desk? What is success? And what does that mean? And I think that we can all generate our own opinions. I'd like to actually, what do you think for our live callers, if you just drop in the chat box, what is your definition of success? Just like as we're going through this chat, I'd love to hear what you all think. And then just to kind of also, see how some of these questions align with that, and how we value success, and how we either put our intuition down and we don't do what our whole body is telling us to do. Like you said, you were like, I need to be in another field, or I need to be in a different, way of life. This can't be it. And look at the smile that's on your face today. So I'm so happy that you're sharing that and reminding people to go for what they believe in. So don't be shy, everyone. Please write in the chat. What do you think success is? I know that some might be monetary, some might be, about wellness. There's no wrong answer. This is just for you to kind of play along with us and interact here. So we've got someone here that says, success to me is freedom to make choices in life and having the resources to help others. I totally love that definition of success.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer, and keep that coming. So I know that we've got some beautiful minds. There are a lot of people on the call, so I know that this isn't what everyone thinks about success. Please drop your opinion there in the chat box, and then until then, we'll move on to this next question. So how do you know if you are on the right path?
To help this process, well, first of all, you could start with surface stuff, right? Like the pros and the cons. You look to what you'd really, you're doing something, you ask those pros and cons. And then the goal here is really just knowing you want to achieve something in your life, and or you either struggling with something in your life right now and you really want to improve something. And for some of you out there, you're struggling with your health and well-being, with a serious diagnosis, or love and relationships, or never having one, or just broken one, or career and the path that you want to take and not knowing that. And this is what it's all about, this path that you want to take. And just know that in the challenges that you're going through right now, the good news is the goals and dreams that you have are often born out of those challenges. So it's moving beyond the pros and cons, because that's kind of the surface, and looking to our longing and our discontents, because our longing and discontents are actually 2 growth signals that signal us and give us the more in depth than the pros and cons as to what you really, really want. And these feelings are really what spark us to grow. The pain of our problems, or the burning desire for what you really, really want. So these are essential for creating new results in your life, and they're essential for gaining clarity and analyzing and gaining clarity to the path that you'd really want to follow.
Great. And so I'd love to hear also from our live callers, you know, where are you on your path, so that as Natalie is diving into these questions, she can kind of, you know, consider you and dive in deep there. But I just want to flag one more definition of success that we have here. For me, success is feeling that hard work paid off and all of the time spent trying to reach a goal does get me my dream job. So thank you for sharing that.
Nice.
All right, so let's move on to this question here. How do you find your purpose? What tools and techniques are out there, especially for individuals who second guess their talent and abilities?
Good question. And again, I'll say, just ask yourself who you are. Truly, look in the mirror, just write in a book to yourself, ask yourself who you really are. And just knowing, you were so perfectly made. Everything about you is unique, and there's no two persons exactly like you. Why? Why is that? And asking yourself, why was I made so unique? What is that gift? Because what you're doing in life, your talents and your abilities are not just a dream for you. When you're actually in true connection with your values and who you truly are, and you're connected to what your true purpose is, your dream is actually a gift to everybody else in the world. And how do you measure that, or there's a 5-point question that you can ask yourself that you have to have a resounding yes to. So when you're asking yourself, okay, that talent is, should I be continuing doing my talent or my abilities, and oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or anything like that, any of these questions. So asking yourself a 5-point question, I call it the star. So this, the star points, and asking yourself, think of what you want to do, and ask yourself, does it give me more life? Does it excite you? Does doing that thing, does it make you get excited? And does it align with your core value? Does it make you grow? So if you could do what you want to do and you're already really good at it, this is a no. You want to be able to grow in the dream that you currently have. And does it have need for a higher power? Because if your dream does not need the help of a higher power, and that's not a resounding yes, your dream is not big enough. A dream will require you to access the infinite. For you, the universe; for me, it's God. So, but accessing a greater and higher power. And if you don't need that higher power and you could access it on your own, then it's just a worthy goal. That's not a dream. And does it have good in it for others? Because your dream is not just for you. Your dream by default will directly or indirectly impact others in a good way. So those 5 questions, you need a resounding yes for. And if you said yes to all those 5, then your dream is worthy of you. That would be my answer to that.
Awesome. I love that. And if this was your question and you want to share, your response, I would love to hear from you. If this was your question that you see on the screen, feel free to chime in there. And if it wasn't your question, everyone is welcome. So again, this is my time to sound like a broken record. Please, I love all the action in the chat box. Please keep it up, continue that. And also, take yourself off of mute at any point. Natalie is sharing some great resource here. So thank you for that, Natalie. Let's move on to the next question here. I'm very interested in learning how to achieve greater results with less effort. I always thought that results were based on the amount of effort. For example, in order to learn or master something, you need to practice constantly. Did you want to respond to this question, Natalie?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I would say, first of all, you do need to constantly practice. Sorry. But the thing is, when you're doing what you love, they say you never work another day in your life. So that's the key. And if there's something in your work that does drain you, because, as a life coach, let's say for me, I come alive. I love to see the progress in my clients and see them transform. It's what ignites me, and it's elating for me. But there's part of my job as a life coach, like accounting, um, organizing. So I've hired an assistant, I've hired an accountant, and to do those things. So what drains you, task it out. I mean, and I tasked out long ago. I remember even when I was a single mom and I started working and, things were starting to flow. Like I've had a cleaning lady for 21 years now. Well, no, about 19 years. At first it was just once a month. Now it's once a week. I don't know. A little bit messier lately. But anyways, the reason I say this is not because I was a millionaire, and people think it's because my value with my daughter, like I was working 5 days a week. Come Saturday, I was cleaning the whole house, spending a whole day cleaning the house, and Sunday doing laundry. And this is not what I loved. And as I was being coached, I was realizing, no, do what you love and task out. As you're tasking out, you're blessing somebody else. So I inevitably ended up blessing another single mom that was a house cleaner doing what she loved. And on that Saturday, instead of cleaning the house, I was out at the beach, at the spa. I was baking brownies while somebody else was cleaning my house. That time is invaluable. So and when I was cleaning the house, it was depleting my whole energy and I was exhausted. So do what you love, consistently practice what you love, and task out while blessing somebody else. So share the opportunity with somebody else and focus on what you want and task out what takes your energy.
I love that you're saying to be mindful that someone else might be looking for that job, or might be willing to help you out, and that will give you space and that will add value to their work. I think that we don't think of that often enough. We try to think of it like, I don't want this to be my problem, let it be someone else's problem. But it's like, think of it as a gift, right? You're gifting someone else. If they, of course, you have to align with that person, but someone needs that work, and they're happy to do it when you aren't. So I really love that you're bringing that up to light here. Thank you, Patricia, for turning your camera on. I see you. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here. So how would you recommend shifting our mindset to believe that we can also make six figures?
Well, there's no better way to generate more than to start right where you are, just being grateful. Gratefulness is actually the equation of abundance. So remember that you're already abundant right where you are, exactly in the space you are, even if it doesn't look like it on that surface, right? To you, in your eyes, it's your perspective. But being grateful for what you do have, and there is a pattern, there's a system, and there's a way of doing things that will create the results that you want. And it's a recoding of your mind to enable it to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. And we all have goals we want to achieve, and pay attention to what you do want, and and can continue to live. If you pay attention to what you don't want, you'll continue to live in that circumstance. And if you focus on what you want, it'll expand. So you're not alone, knowing that. Because if I knew that if you feel that you're alone and you're doing this on your own, I would never be doing what I'm doing. You are not alone. You can't take a breath on your own. Notice what you're noticing. And when you're looking, and you could even close your eyes and notice the tip of your nose, notice your fingers that, say, index finger move. Like, there's something within you that's far greater than anything outside of you. And know that your circumstances matter not. Just know that God is. The realization that there is one power, one presence, and one life. And that I am, you are, you're part of that one presence and that one power. And the truth is that you live in an abundant universe. The truth is that there is a power in this universe that is bigger than anything you're facing right now. And let go of the struggle and float. You just let go in the water and just float. This too, when you're struggling, they say if you're in quicksand and you're like struggling, you're actually going to sink. Sometimes you just have to just let go of the struggle, let go of all the thoughts that are weighing you down, of things that might go wrong, and ask yourself, if it were all working out, what would it look like? What would it feel like? And that's the winning mindset.
Beautiful. And we have some people who are writing in the chat here. I agree 100%. Being grateful will bring more positive things to your life. And then someone else here has written, I've been working on trying to be more grateful lately. I sometimes have a tough time with that. So what would be your advice for someone who is trying to, be more mindful of gratitude, but it's a little tough?
Well, I have a funny story about that, because one of my coaches over the years had told me, write 10 things you're grateful for every morning. I was like, I don't know, like I was doing it, but it was really, I kept thinking, what's this doing for me? Okay, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for my comfy bed. And it wasn't really resonating. So what I would say to that is, stop. What do you have to do next? You have to get up and go to the bathroom. You can't do the next thing until you're grateful for it. So if you have to go to the ladies' room, you have to get up on your feet and go to that bathroom. Like, wow. How powerful is it that you can't, if you can't do that next move, how grateful would you be for it? Most people are become so grateful for something when they lose it and it comes back. But you never know. So you have your legs. Some people have to wait for somebody to knock on their door, or not knock, come into their door, come upstairs or wherever they are, and transfer them from their bed to a chair. And even if you're that person that's happening, being grateful for that person that comes to aid you, and even just seeing right now, we're seeing all the beautiful faces here, all the beautiful women and men that are out there, and we can see, like, just truly feeling that gratefulness, not just a task list. Really, instead of saying, write 10 things you're grateful for, what's 2 things you're grateful for? And really feel it, not just the list. Feel the gratefulness of what you currently have in your life.
And just to connect this also with the question of, so someone wants to know how to make 6 figures, and someone else wants to know how to, have this mindset so that can happen, and what is success. And What if that is, someone else's version of success? I see a lot of people that try to make it their version of success. That's also why I wanted to ask everyone on the call, what do you think success means? Because I find that sometimes, someone that doesn't make, not to say that you're wrong or right for wanting six figures. That's not the argument that I'm trying to bring up here. But as far as, what makes you thrive? What makes you feel like that resounding yes that you were saying, Natalie? A lot of things come with having six figures, and do those things give you a resounding yes? Do you have impact in the way that you want to have impact, by reaching this goal that is effectively making you self-doubt and kind of ricocheting into all of that? Do you have any advice on how to really define, as far as success is concerned? Some people put the six-figure title on it and some people put another title on it, but just how to really own what you are asking for. So that, if hopefully happiness and harmony is the core of it, but to get that reflection back here, what would you say to that?
Well, what I would say to that is nobody wants six figures sitting on their desk. It's not a six figure is what they want. It's what the six figure could help them achieve. So six figures, I could give you six figures and put it on your desk, and that's just a whole pile of paper with numbers on it. You don't want that. It's what you can do with the six figures. You can buy a home, a comfortable home, make it yours. So start with where you are right now. So with that six figure, you could have a mortgage and purchase a home. You could buy a boat. You could take a vacation. Well, if you can't go to Costa Rica, then, you could start right where you are. Take a camping vacation and take your family and do what you can with what you have right now, with the blessings that you have right now. Be grateful for everything you do have. And the six figure, it's not necessarily the six figure. It's really what you can do with that six figure is what I would say.
Thank you for that, Natalie. I'm just going to read what some people have written in the chat box here. Flora says, so many things to be grateful about, and we just take them for granted, even the little things. Flora writes, one thing I learned and loved was to write things down that bother me. Then for each one, I have to find something within something to be grateful for. This exercise was crazy, but allowed me to see the bigger picture. I'm truly grateful for all experiences.
Wow.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here. And again, if you see your question come up on the screen, feel free to take yourself off of mute. I see a couple of you have turned your cameras on, and I really appreciate that. We've got just a little under half an hour. So, now's your time to shine. If you have anything that's come to mind now, you don't have to wait till we get to your question. You can go for it right now. Okay, so let's hop onto this question here. What steps do you recommend taking in order to remove blocks that are preventing financial abundance?
We kind of went through a little bit of that in the last question, but just remember that all the negatives that are shared with you, it's, over time, you could work on this, but if you can, remove those blocks, remove the blocks that any negative self-talk about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Actually, it does, if you think about it. and money doesn't make you happy. So these paradigms, these limiting self-beliefs, believe it or not, on a subconscious level, if you really truly believe money doesn't make you happy, you're holding on to not wanting it because you feel, oh my goodness, subconsciously you've been told money doesn't make you happy. So it's letting go of all those negative self-talks about money. Money is absolutely wonderful. And if you don't love money, money can give you enough money to be able to donate to the charities that you do care for. A lot of people are heart-centered and they say, I don't want to be selfish and I want money. There's another paradigm. Having money is being selfish. And there's a lot of self-talk like that is limiting our growth. And gratefulness, again, coming back to that gratefulness for what you do have right now, access to clean water, food, the roof over your head. What you focus on expands. Focus on being broke always struggling, you're gonna be broke and always struggling. But focus on what you want, and it expands. And when you're in a state of gratefulness, it's almost impossible to have a negative thought. So this is why it's imperative to be grateful in that. So
thank you, Natalie. So we have another definition of success here in the chat box. And if you joined us a little late, I'm inviting everyone who's live to write down how they define success. So Christina has written here, success is when I feel the sense of satisfaction of reaching my goals. So after my struggling, it's great to finally get there. Right now, I'm attempting to get an awesome job in which I'm treated with respect and make a decent income.
Awesome. I love that.
And then someone here has written, I've lost my self-esteem now that I'm older. I seem to have to get validation about almost everything, meaning unsure of choices. How can I get back my go-getter attitude again? Great question. What do you have to say about that?
Wow, that's a great question. When you lose your self-esteem, it's usually because you're thinking more of what others think of you and worried about that. And when you're getting older, 59, you're young and gorgeous. This is the prime time in your life, and just really validate you. Know that you are magnificently made. You're uniquely made in this world right now, right where you are. You're perfectly made. Everything about you is put here to be and do and create amazing things, and to validate and get self-esteem is do things for yourself. You know, take a bath and relax and treat yourself nicely and kindly, how you would treat your own very own daughter. Treat yourself that way. Love yourself with all that you have, and know that you are loved by that greater power, that universe, God, that you are absolutely adored and loved just the way you are. And do things for yourself. You know, a lot of people forget they say we're made 73% water. Fill your body with water, drink water. This will feed you life. It'll feed you energy. It'll make your skin glow. And most importantly, it'll keep your mind clear. When you're dehydrated, you get a headache. They say, oh, take a couple of aspirin. Really, I think it's actually the water you're drinking with the aspirin that gets rid of your headache, because we need to hydrate. So hydrate, feed your body good foods, and walk a day keeps the doctor away and keeps your mind alert. Exercise is brilliance. Exercise is important. You don't have to be a marathon runner. Just go out every day and go for a walk and drink water.
I love that. Yes. And the world is also made up of the majority water. You know, we've got great big oceans in the world, and we often forget about that. So I love that you are actually highlighting that we need to hydrate, because you're totally right. And I've got my water here right now as we speak.
Yeah, me too.
So someone here has written me privately, what if the people around you are unsupportive of your dreams?
You have to be, if they love you enough, they'll be supportive of your dreams. And if they don't, then they'll be selfish enough to not encourage you along your path and along your dream. And sometimes you really have to follow your heart. Imagine, had I asked anybody back when I was the two major events in my life, when I had zero money and I was selling a car for $500. Had I asked anybody, even the people that love me the most, actually, with the greatest of intentions, they would have said, absolutely not. Take that $500 and buy some food or buy something else. They would have, guided me along another path. But you really have to follow your true intuition, the feeling, your gut sense, and pray about it. Ask for discernment. Um, and the second event is when I left a six-figure income. I knew that if when I asked, I was telling my husband, this is what I'm going to do. He's like, surely what you want to do? But he loves me. He wants best for me. He wants me to come alive and in doing what I love. So same is true for you, but sometimes it's fear itself. Some husbands or wives might say, no, you're not going to quit a job, six-figure income and go do that. It's because they're fearing as well. It's not necessarily that they don't love you. It's they're fearing as well. They're fearing change. They're fearing loss. They're fearing the unknown. But if it's your gut sense, you have to go for it. You have to do what you really feel is meant for you, because it's your true calling, and your true calling is a gift to the world, and they'll be benefited by you doing it and following your passion.
I love that you always remind us, if you follow your passion, people, the butterfly effect will, have its effect such that other people will be impacted because of your happiness. And I think that we should also remember that as we reflect.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Alka, thank you for turning your camera on. I see you. I just want to also flag something here that Lila mentioned, which I think is great. Money is an energy exchange. Think about it. The more good energy goes around, the more we can change the world in a positive way so that everyone can share in abundance. That's what I believe true abundance is, when everyone has the opportunity and the chance to dream of an abundant life.
Thanks, Lila.
Yeah, I want to give some snaps to that, because we're totally right now in the world, we're in a moment where it's, that we see the mirror of how that is not accessible for a lot of people. And so I also wanted to comment on the woman who mentioned about her getting older and having self-doubt, and that I believe that if for the other person who doesn't feel like they are on that journey, we all eventually will be there, right? So what I love to think about is how can we, as a community, start to support each other in different ways, so that as we get older, or as we see someone else getting older, there's no shame in that, and there's no self-doubt. And actually, it's the opposite. Like, how can we, embrace each other more in that way? So, whoever wrote that here in the chat box, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. And I also just want to challenge everyone out there to, lift each other up, because one day we're going to be in that position too. And how horrible would that be for you to feel that way? So let's lift our whole community up. It doesn't matter the color or the age or the gender. That's for me, it's like a dinosaur thought at this point to think that, someone is more advantage of the other person based on certain things. So sorry, I just had to get on my soapbox for a minute there.
Nicely said, Mariella.
All right, thank you. So Flora here has written a question here in the chat box. Working with the universe is oftentimes said to be going with the right stream of life. Ask and it shall be given to you. But what do you do when you ask and get so many opportunities going different directions, to the point that you get into a rabbit hole instead of getting to your goal?
Okay, that's a loaded question. So the question is asked, working with the universe often said. So it's all goes back to, when you're going after your dream and you're failing, just always reminding yourself that success is right on the other side of fear. So when you're fearing something and when you're failing, if success was easy, then we'd all be successful and we'd all be doing great. So you have to remind yourself, encourage yourself, get back up. No matter what, get back up. Keep plowing through. Know that when everything remind yourself that all the successes that you do have, you once feared. You feared the job you had. You feared the going to the interview for the job that you have. You feared the person meeting that new person that you ended up marrying. You feared the unknown. So always just get back up. If it's in alignment with what you would love to do, persistence, you will achieve. You could achieve everything, and know that you're not alone. There's a greater power out there. You're not alone. Access the universe, access the power that you have. There's a greater power within you that's greater than this whole world, that is here to grow you, serve you, help you throughout the process. And reach out to, just like Mariella was just speaking about a couple of minutes ago, reach out to people that care and love you, and have a partner in believing that you could just call up, you know, when you're having that, I'm having a bad day, call that friend where you could, that friend that picks you up when you're feeling down and encourages you. We all need that. We all need that.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to extend this as an invitation. We've got about 10 minutes left. And I see, Patricia, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Let's use this time to connect. So if you want to connect by dropping your LinkedIn in the chat box, I see that a lot of folks are supporting Tina here for her inquiry about, having self-doubt. So, I just want to use this as an opportunity to connect. Please drop in the chat box your LinkedIn or any way that you want us to connect. Everyone is welcome to find me on LinkedIn. I'm under Mariella Marie, and Natalie will, at the end of this chat, share how we can be in touch with her. So with that said, go ahead and put that in the chat box. And then Patricia, I see that you have your hand raised, so go for it.
Hello, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I wanted to speak to the young lady who was talking about age, right? Her age, and I apologize. So I'm an older female as well. And what makes me feel alive is being grateful. And that was also taught by Natalie. She is my life coach. And right. And so just making yourself being alive. And also I put a little note here, age is nothing but a number, as we all know, right? And you're as old as you feel. Feel great in the morning. Feel like I can do anything. I'm a woman with power. I rock. Just feed yourself and inspire yourself so that you don't feel like, oh, I'm getting old. I don't think there's any more for me. No, don't feel that way. Feel alive again. Get around some young folks and start making them make you feel alive again, because you are your best you. So I just wanted to say that to the young lady who was talking about age, because again, age is nothing but a number. You can reach your dream again, and feel alive again. And I just wanted to share that because that's what I'm doing. And thanks to my life coach, Natalie. Thank you so much. And that's all I had to share. I just wanted her to feel alive again. Don't let nothing stop you. Get up every morning with a grateful heart. And there you go. And I'm done.
Yes. Thank you, Patricia. I see you got some praise too. Everyone was clapping for it. Yes, I love that.
Yeah. Thank you, Patricia. Wow. You're on fire.
And Tina, did you want to chime in? I see you took yourself off of mute.
Yes, I want to thank you, ladies. It's been a little struggle. And I was always a go-getter. I'm a single parent. I have one son. He's a grown man. And, he tells me, Mom, what's going on? I remember you used to do this and do that and all active in things. And I don't know what has happened, but it's like sometimes I just can't get that. I'm not sure of myself. And I know my little brother, he passed away. He used to tell me, Tina, there's people fear of failure, but there's also people afraid to succeed. You go so far, and it's like you're afraid of the blessing that you're going to get. And so I don't know. I just I get so far on things, and then I kind of like left it alone. I finally got my bachelor's degree in project management. I've haven't done the job, so I've been looking for project coordinating jobs. I've just not been doing a lot of things. Got into the grant writing, trying to learn that. So I've been praying, well, God, where do you want me to be? what is it that you have for me? And I'm just waiting. I don't know. So I'm unsure of what I want to do all the time. And I start off and then I just stop. So I just want to thank y'all for the encouragement.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you for sharing, Tina. You got this. I know you're going through some struggles. I was there. I feel you. I feel exactly where you are right now. And know that this too shall pass. But during this time, be there with your son. Look at wow, you've got this beautiful son that cares so much about you that he's reaching out saying, hey, mom, what's up? He has that intuition already as a young boy to be able to know that his mama's feeling some hurt feelings, and to be encouraged by that and be inspired by that in itself, and tell him, I just feed yourself some water, go out for a nice walk, get a ball, go kick a ball out there, being out in the sunshine. There's so many gifts that God has given us. Use all of them. Anything that grows is created. Anything that has life is created by God. And so go out there and feed by the elements. Sit on a plane of grass and feel the grass through your fingers. Enjoy life itself. Go hug a tree. Like, these are just like little tiny things that really, I know it's like when you're going through some struggle, it's okay, well, I don't feel like doing that right now. But just being grateful for this, what you do have, your son, healthy, beautiful son that is just with you, and just, you got this, Tina. Just know and just be encouraged. Be around people that do encourage you. Reach out to me. I'll chat with you. I would love to talk with you more one-on-one and help you out that way. But just, and also pray. Ask and you shall receive. Knock, the door shall open. And believe that through this challenge is huge opportunity for you.
Yes. And you know what?
Huge
We're all here for a
opportunity.
reason, right? Like, everyone is writing in the chat box how they're so inspired by this chat. I see people dropping in their links to connect. I see people offering their tips. So, again, we are here for a reason. We are all, taking this time during these crazy times to share our perspectives and to try to, get this mindset. So Natalie, I really appreciate you sharing your voice, and clearly, everyone is really resonating with what you're saying. So with that said, we've got about 3 minutes left. I'm just going to flag a couple of, I know time is flying. I'm going to flag just a couple of things that are in the chat box, and then Natalie, I'm going to throw the mic over to you so you can give us some food for thought, let us know how we can connect with you, and then you can close this beautiful hour that we've had together here. So let's see, Christina writes, I'm wanting to transition to potentially into the gaming industry, and we're an awesome company. I'm currently learning Python. I have a BFA degree in photography and specializing in painting and art history. Great. I have experience in customer service, project management, and IT support. I know these skills could transfer to my future role. Let's connect. Awesome. Thank you for that. I don't think I have time to read everyone's here. So I really appreciate everyone dropping in the chat box. Again, it would be different if, no one was on this chat, or it would be different if just 2 people were on this chat, but everyone is here. And I really appreciate everyone. So Natalie, what do you have to say to take us away? We've got about 2 more minutes. Let us know how we can connect with you. Again, everyone is very invited to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. But let us know, how we should, look to our future.
Well, just it's important to know that, to right now, it's a tough time for everybody, but in this tough time, a lot of people have found the gift of, going out there and finding the silver lining in all the stuff that's going around, and remembering that this is a gift in all of it right now. Seek, be still, go out, do something new, take a walk, grow, seek out new opportunities, reach out to friends, laugh, cry, do a puzzle. Puzzles, I've realized puzzles are absolutely amazing, meditative. And you could do this alone and you'll see, like for the longest time, I couldn't meditate and really take this time to really be calm. And then I started doing puzzles and I thought, this was as meditative as it gets. It started off with a little tougher, not just a 10 puzzle piece, more like 100, 500, 1,000. And then, and this too could be an encouragement for your whole family. Our daughter wasn't looking at her phone for hours while we were doing a puzzle. And it really is to connect with just the moment. Remember, there is just this moment. And then it's gone. The only thing that we lose in this world is time. And remember that, support is imperative. Had I not received support in my life, I don't know where I'd be today. But know that the advancement of having support in your life could save you a lifetime. If I ask a lot of people, I say, what was your New Year's resolution 20 years ago? People say, what? I don't know. 10 years ago? I don't know. What was it last year or this year? And usually it's the exact same one. Because most people, if they're lucky, they live 90 years and they're living that same year over and over and over again. But with the structure of support and encouragement to create, grow, and thrive every day, you move beyond the results that you're going to have and fester in for years to come. It's like when you join a gym and one person joins a gym, the other one says, I'm not getting a personal coach, I joined the gym. The other one says, I'm getting a personal coach. And for 3 months, and within that 3 months, they learn so much within that 3 months. Their physique has improved 5 times the person that just joined the gym. That time is saving you lots of time. And throughout that process, after that, then you have the knowledge of how to use the equipment. We all need support. Let's face it, we all need support, every single one of us. Always reach out to somebody that you care about. Look for a good coach that you resonate with that could save you time, save you money, and allow you the blessings that you deserve in this world. So go out and live your life to the fullest. And what I offer in everybody listening here, text me. I think I put it in the box here, 613-863-6323. You can text me and I will actually send you 10 most empowering quotes that will start every day with success. That will start you on your day with success. 10 powerful quotes. So I will send that to you. And also for 10 lucky listeners today, I'll also give you a complimentary coaching call. Awesome. That's my gift to you. I'll put it in the box again, actually.
Yes. And so everyone who has joined us will get a rewatch email, and we will be sure to include this information in the rewatch email so that you can have Natalie's information and her beautiful offer as well. So again, thank you, everyone. I know we went a little over time, but thank you for joining us for this hour. I've learned a lot. I'm sure you all have as well. Yes. And enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for coming.